Assalamualaikum. My name is Sadam Rais bin Muhammad Shukri. My metric number is 2020-845-376.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Emily Aizat bin Yusuf Hashim. My matrix number is 2020606822.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hazim bin Abdul Rani. My matrix number is 2020883982.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Nadia binti Muhammad Nuramin. My student ID is 2020874252.
My name is Siti Zubaidah binti Aslia Mirzi and my ID student is 2020482586.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Alia binti Abdul Rahim and my matric number is 20208482 and 12.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurul Nadia binti Muhammad Nur Amin and today I will talk about introduction of foreign labour. Workers who migrate to another nation in search of employment are known as foreign or migratory workers. The category is sufficiently broad to cover skilled technologies, language instructor, labourers and even entertainers. However, foreign labourer typically engage in agricultural industries like picking fruit or harvesting crops. These employees frequently send the majority of their pay back to their relative in their native nation. When there are migrant workers, the country that hosts them is known as the receiving country, and the country from which they are sent is known as the sending country. Sending countries are typically rural, with underdeveloped economies and insufficient employment to support a sizable population of poor inhabitants. Typically, receiving nations are industrialized countries in search of cheap, unskilled labor.
There are many literature reviews floating around online, but one in particular by Zaleha Muhammad Noor, Noraini Isa, Rosmawati Said, and Suhaila Abdul Jalil from University Putra Malaysia is appropriate for this report, and it is titled The Impact of Foreign Workers on Labour Productivity in Malaysia's Manufacturing Sector. Various factors such as changes in population growth and the labour force participation rate have an impact on how the labour force has grown. However, the rate of natural increase and immigration levels determine population growth. Both the birth rates and the death rates affect the rate of natural increase. Numbers of immigration and migration both contribute to net immigration. Table 1 shows how Malaysia's population grew rapidly between 1965 and 2005. This has given the economy a working population. During this time, the labour force has also been gradually growing. From the table above, the high rate of unemployment throughout the 1970s was caused by a shortage of new jobs being created and an increase in the labour force. This has made it difficult for the government to create jobs. To increase employment, a variety of development strategies were introduced and put into effect, particularly in more modern industries like manufacturing and services. Finally, the labour situation started to shift in the 1990s when the labour market was tight. To address the issue of a labour shortage, the government began to encourage the hiring of foreign employees at this time, particularly those from Southeast Asia. The increased presence of foreign employees in Malaysia can be attributed to both the excess demand of labour brought on by the country's rapid economic growth and the relatively lower cost of hiring foreign workers. Thank you.
According to the Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM), an astounding 81.5% or 4 out of every 5 jobs created in 2016 went to foreign labourers. BNN has cautioned that a low wages, low production strategy is unsustainable in the long run and runs the risk of lagging behind the nation's competitors. Foreigners held 64.4% of newly generated positions in 2015. In 2016, graduate unemployment increased to 4.1%. An increasing number of positions were being held by foreign employers. While the proportion of foreign workers in the labour market has decreased from a peak of 18.8% in 2007 to 12% in 2017. They still account for more than a fifth of jobs in manufacturing, construction, and agriculture. A growing percentage of the newly created positions are low skill, increasing from 8% in 2002 until 2010 to 16% in 2011 to 2017. The number of high-skill employment decreased to 37% from 45% within the same time frame. Because of labor shortage in certain sectors of the Malaysian economy, reliance on foreign labor is unavoidable. Maintaining economic development and addressing labor shortage are critical. Therefore, there are two basic reasons why firms hire foreign labor. The first reason is to carry out jobs that need specialized skills that are not available in the host country, especially in the transfer of technology. According to the finding, the capital labor ratio is an essential factor in influencing labor productivity. Malaysian enterprises continue to hire foreign employees because it is cost-effective. According to the report, most firms feel that hiring foreign labor is far less expensive than investing in pricey high-tech apparatus. Many businesses prefer to hire migrant workers because they are seen to have a better work attitude and ethic than native. The number of foreign labor in the Malaysian labor market has sharply increased in recent years. A greater working population boosts the economic potential production and may have an impact on wages and productivity growth as well as the amount of unemployment that is compatible with a low inflation rate. However, since foreign labor are also consumers of products and services, the impact of labor's import on the economy is felt not only on the supply but also on the demand. Foreign labor have a significant effect on supply and demand equilibrium, and its inflationary effect is not always obvious. In its most basic definition, inflation simply means rising prices. The foreign labor participant in the Malaysian labor market is likely to have a greater impact on the supply of the economy than on the others' demand, reducing inflationary pressures. They are likely to have saved a bigger amount of their income than domestic workers, which will have a mute effect on demand. Thus, foreign laborers have played a crucial role in guiding the economy through the recent economic storm and in containing inflation from rising much worse than it already is.
According to official data from the Immigration Department of the Ministry of Home Affairs, 2,090,900 regular migrant workers were working in Malaysia as of 2020. As stated above, 1,407,300 men migrant workers were employed in many sectors, including manufacturing, plantation, and tourism, which is equal to 67%. However, women migrant worker is lesser than men, who show 683,600 migrant, which is 33%. Malaysia still need a foreign worker in various sectors such as construction, plantation, manufacturing, and domestic. We still need about 15 of the total labor force, and we are approaching this figure. According to the figure above, Indonesia has account for 80% of all foreign workers from Asian nations in Malaysia, with a total of 690,659 migrants. The lowest, however, come from two countries, which is Cambodia and Laos. Cambodia have 3,321 migrants, and Laos have 44 migrants, respectively. Following that, Myanmar is the Asian country with the second highest number of foreign workers in Malaysia, although only 16% with a total of 140,461 migrants. Moving to the Philippines, which has 18% of all migrants, and Vietnam and Thailand both have 2%.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Adam Rais. I will continue the discussion on newspaper article by the start. Discussion on newspaper article entitled Lack of Foreign Labour Will Derail Company. Manufacturing, food and beverage, F&B and plantation industries are among those that are now confronting a severe labour shortage. A significant labour shortage is weighing on the country's chances of recovering from the economic slump caused by the COVID-19 outbreak. Industry participants urged the government to speed the entry of new foreign workers to replace those who returned to their homelands during the pandemic or after their contract ended. To deal with the severe labour shortage, many F&B owners have reduced menu items, switched to throw-away flatware, and relied on the overworked employees who face increased consumer demand. Zainal 2022.
As the conclusion, we can say that there are various benefits, weaknesses, and views on foreign labor in Malaysia. If we look at the positive side, foreign workers are very helpful in development of our country when they engage in a certain job sector. However, if we see in the negative side, this will affect the local worker job opportunities. But the negative side can be avoided if Malaysians change the way that they look in a job and not looking in the certain job in a slanted way. Because every working people are doing their responsibility at the best to support their family members. But if this issue cannot be solved by now, we will still need the foreign workers. Therefore, it is proven that Malaysia still needs a foreign labor, and it is very important in a certain industry to ensure the development of our country.